Hi guys, welcome to day 20 of the 21 Day Purpose Challenge. So you have 2 more days left. You can see the finish line. It is almost there. And today is a really exciting day, actually. You get to move your purpose out and begin to have purposeful conversations with your Purpose Dream Team. So first, I'd like to share with you some amazing developments in this kind of purpose revolution, this movement, the global purpose movement. So, as some of you know, the Purpose Challenge is global. There are people taking it from all over the world, but we're actually translating it. So, it's currently being translated into Spanish, Russian, Romanian, and Dutch. And we're seeking more volunteer translators. So, if you want to bring a free purpose discovery program to your people, wherever they are, please reach out to me, contact me. Would love to have you involved. I mean, we're obviously especially interested in the big languages, or the languages where the most people speak them. So like Chinese, Arabic, Portuguese, French, German, these sorts of languages. But really, any language is fine. I'm committed to every single human, every one of our 7.3 billion humans fighting their purpose. So if we find out that you've got a real passion for, Basque, which I know there are people from Basque here, yeah, please, translate it into Catalan. I would love that. It's going to happen, just a question of when. So also, we're writing a book that some of you may know called Planet on Purpose, and we've signed a book deal with Hay House Balboa Press. It'll be out this summer, and that book is going to get translated into Spanish by Oscar Medina, who's one of the challenge co-leaders, and Isabella Sepulveda. She was one of the challengers from last year. So that's very, very exciting. This work, this message is going to keep kind of pulsing and like weaving together our species, our planet, with individual purpose, but also collective purpose. So the book kind of, it lays out the case for, bringing purpose into your own life. The science of purpose, what it feels like, and then the 21-day challenge is the middle part of the book. Then the last part is like what purpose looks like collectively. So what's a purposeful marriage? What's a purposeful culture? Purposeful company, country, species, planet. What's a purposeful cosmos? So the idea is that we get to live purpose not just in our own lives, but in everywhere. We can create purpose at the level of family, create purpose at our gym, at the supermarket. Everywhere can be a more purposeful expression. So as you know, the challenge is almost over, and I really want you to think about what you're going to do after, and how you're going to get support in living your life's purpose. Now, I'm a big fan of circles. So the Mankind Project does great men's circles. Woman Within does great women's circles. There's a number of other kind of intentional circle communities out there. So I'd highly explore those as a way to kind of root your purpose, to make sure that like you are held accountable, that you are in a community of folks who support you. And your Purpose Dream Team exercise is about working with your existing community to kind of create a purpose container. But there's other programs as well. So you can jump into the Psi Omega program if you like, and that'll be a tighter container of folks working together for 6 weeks, doing deep dive into resistance and also new soul discovery technologies. That can be a supportive container for your purpose. But yeah, really start to think about like this challenge never being over. Yeah, these exercises are going to end, but how are you going to support yourself? Is it the Psi Omega? Is it Challenge Plus? Is it, men's circle, women's circle? Because you're going to need to have people rooting for you, people supporting you, challenging you, kind of, urging you on. So today we are going to start to speak our purpose. And I'd like to share with you a story about kind of how I learned what speaking with power actually meant. So before I started speaking with power, my purpose was just kind of like, oh, it's Brandon's thing. And now I get to create leaders. I get to create people who are alive with their life's purpose. So I get inside their world to create a reality for them, or help them create a reality where they see something bigger and better for themselves. So as you likely know, there's like a big difference between, speaking with knowledge and speaking with power. Now, speaking with power means you're committed. You're committed to that person getting what they want. And you're committed to your own vision, your own purpose. But you're not attached to either outcome. So you're not like, oh, well, you've got to go do this thing. And, I've got to go do this thing. And that's what my purpose means. No, it's like I'm committed to us achieving a better result, but I'm not attached to how it's going to happen. So it's becoming much more flexible, but also like strong in your commitment. So this gets us into this kind of art of enrollment, where we can help folks see a new reality for themselves in a conversation that allows folks to feel empowered and to choose differently in a way that allows them to step into a greater vision of themselves. So it basically means you've got to get in somebody else's world. You got to figure out what's important to them. And I learned this the hard way with my dad, right? So, before Purpose and even shortly thereafter, I would just kind of say whatever I felt like. Oh, well, the politics this and economy that, and injustice, and I was just this postmodern like bullhorn. It was just like everything's screwed up and it's all the 1%'s fault and all. I was just, you've heard it before. I was basically Occupy, a walking Occupy. um, and some folks appreciate that. It's like when you're speaking to the choir, they're like, yeah, we gotta fight and all this kind of stuff. But most folks are not in that place, and especially with my dad. So my dad and I have radically different understandings of the world, and my political views and my understanding of the world occurs to him as a threat, like literally a personal attack, and that it discredits his livelihood, that it discredits his worth. So when I'm not in his world and just saying what I think, he gets triggered and our relationship takes a nosedive. And we've had a number of breakups based on this kind of same dynamic where he says something, I say something, he says something, and then we don't talk for months. And yeah, when I'm speaking in this way, it's like it's not powerful. My dad's just checked out. And when he's speaking that way to me, I'm checked out because he's not in my world, I'm not in his world, and just kind of the worldview battles. And it'd be one thing if it actually worked. If knowledge alone moved people, if I could say, hey, did you know that capitalism is collapsing? There's all this science behind it. I've said this to so many capitalists, so many conservatives, so many of my business school friends. They don't care. The knowledge is not what moves them. What moves them is a new vision for their lives. So I need to be inside their world to help them see that they actually can take everything that they've done in the past to create a purpose-driven venture. That they don't have to give up their desire to have impact and to provide for their family in order to live a more fulfilling existence aligned with their purpose. So when I started to have these conversations with my dad, it made a huge difference. Like I just started getting inside his world, and we've had all these breakthroughs. So what's important to him is golf. So he's running for president of his country club, and I've been giving him feedback and congratulating him, and because it's really, I am committed to him getting what he wants. I'm not attached to him adopting my postmodern integral values or anything like that. Like I really just want what's best for him. And so, I'm giving him feedback on his presentation to the board of his country club, even though that's not a choice I would make, but that's what's important to him. So I'm enrolling him and helping him see that he can create a bigger vision for himself, in matters that are important to him. In his case, it's the country club, and he's doing the same thing for me. We're creating a weekend together with our partners. He's been an active contributor to my book, supporting the crowdfunding campaign, giving me lots of good feedback about how to reach to kind of the modernist middle of America and really the Western world. So we're contributing to each other, and it's all because enrollment is present. I'm able to get inside his world and create a conversation for him that works and brings us together, really. It allows us to be loving, which is really what we all want, especially with our parents. So I want to share with you a quote that's related to today's exercise and moving your purpose out in the world. So it's by Helen Keller. If you haven't read Helen Keller's autobiography, I highly recommend it. I mean, it is one of the most inspiring, mystical life stories you'll ever encounter. She's a true hero of mine. So Helen says, many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. So happiness, as Helen says, is it's not through pleasing our senses, but through this greater vision for humanity, vision for our lives. And so she hits on this thing that, like, if you want to be happy, make your allegiance, make your alliance with your purpose, not with your emotional state, not with feeling good or, the taste of a good meal or a taste of a good drink. I mean, these things are fine to enjoy, and they are purpose aligned to enjoy your human existence. But if that becomes your only reason, like the next steak, the next movie, the next consumer experience, that's not true happiness. That's just kind of gratification. That kind of regresses to what they call hedonic normalization. Like every time you get something or have an experience, it normalizes and you don't get any joy from it. Whereas every time you contribute to your life's purpose, to your vision for the world, each thing is an expanded joy. It's a generative joy. It allows you to have fun, to work hard and have fun, and to keep having more fun every time you work hard. So this is what I'm going to ask you to keep in mind as you start to share your purpose, that everything you're doing is moving towards this greater experience of life, deeper fulfillment, working towards something that builds on itself. And so your purpose, as you start to share it, as it starts to evolve in these communications, in these conversations with your dream team and in your support groups and friends and family, you got to hold it lightly, because again, if you're attached to what it looks like, it'll be really different. It would be really difficult to actually enjoy it. You want to be committed to the question. As one of my colleagues, Dave Schildkret, says, your purpose is not a what, it is a who. So you want to be in relationship to this who, this kind of seducing your purpose. Who are you? How can I learn more about you today as I talk to my dream team, as I take a purpose-aligned action, as I go to the gym? Because you're going to hear no. Like, that's just what happens in life. Not every enrolling conversation yields some kind of new action. Somebody's going to be like, that's really inspiring, and I'm not doing anything different. So that no is always going to happen at some point. For a lot of us, and especially if you're selling, you're going to hear that more than you're going to hear yes. And if you're not committed to your purpose, if you're not in that relationship, you're going to feel hopeless. You're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel like, oh, well, I tried that purpose thing once and, it didn't work. So you've got to stay in relationship, be with your vision board, your purpose statement, continue to seduce the new meaning. Like, what am I learning from my life's purpose today? Allow your purpose statement and your vision board to be a refuge, a place where you can go to reconnect so that you can be in relationship, committed, as your primary love relationship, your purpose, committed to the vision for your life, committed to the vision for the world. See you tomorrow for day 21.